If you're an estate agent who's finding it tough to consistently bring on new instructions, this episode is for you. I'm speaking to Avi, who just launched 6 months ago, and like many in the early stages, is still figuring out how to attract leads and grow his presence. If you're unsure how to market yourself or build a personal brand that actually gets results, this conversation is going to help. Hope you enjoy it. Avi, welcome to the podcast. It's very kind of you to make time out of your busy diary to come on with us today. So, for those that don't know you at all, give us a little background of yourself. How have we got to today?
Thank you, Chris, for having me on. Um, so basically, I started a state agency. I'll go a bit back. I was living in Antwerp, in Belgium, and I was learning there a state agency. You need a license in Belgium to be an estate agent. So I studied there 1 year. I did a bit in property in Belgium, but it didn't really, didn't really I didn't really go into it. I had other businesses and stuff. And then when I came to in the UK in 2018, I started mortgages.
Okay.
I had my own company. Then I was self-employed. So basically, from 2018 until 2024, I was a mortgage broker. And yeah, I started about half a year ago, about 9 months ago, I started a state agency.
Great. And what made you made the swap over from the mortgage world to the estate agency world? What made you kind of transfer over?
Yeah, so it's a good question. Mortgages is, I like property. I like everything about property. Just mortgages is very, very regulated.
Mm.
And it's just getting more and more regulated the whole time. And there was just too much stress and um, yeah, I would say just too much stress, basically.
Oh, fair enough. That sounds fine. Well, yeah, if you're looking for
A
a lack of
lot of, yeah, sorry, a lot of administration work and all this kind of work with by state agency, it's less, a lot less. So,
yeah, but if you're looking for a lack of regulation and lack of paperwork, welcome to estate agencies.
yeah.
They didn't have it.
Yeah.
Good. So you mentioned you launched sort of, 6 to 9 months ago. Talk me through how it's gone so far. What's the sort of traction been like? How's it been going?
Yeah. So actually, one of my first clients, when I started the state agency, is the same first client which gave me his mortgage
Okay.
for 7 years ago.
Hmm.
So a good friend of mine, and he gave me 8 properties, new development.
That is a
So it
good
was
friend.
very,
That's a
yeah,
very
and
good
it
friend.
was, yeah, it is. And he's a good friend of mine, and it was very nice of him to give me like 8 new properties. And I've got a huge sign on it, so I got a lot of attention because of this new
Good.
sign.
Excellent.
Yeah, so in the community, I mean, in my area, a lot of people see me now on the streets and say, "Hey," when I go in the shop, like, "Hey, are you the one down there on the street?" I say, "Yeah, it's
Okay,
me."
good,
Yeah,
excellent. So that's a as first clients go, getting your first client being a recommendation, and they have 8 properties as well, is pretty much a high five. How's it gone outside of that? So what does an average month look like for yourself at the moment with regard to kind of market appraisals, properties you bring on the market, sales, all that sort of stuff?
yeah. So until now, I was also doing something else part-time, like,
Mhm.
here and there, self-employed stuff, nothing to do with the state agency.
Mm.
So I'm trying to slow it down and stop the other thing completely. I'm going completely into a state agency. So how it has been the last 6 months, let's say the last 6 months. So basically, let's say, roughly about two market appraisals, valuations every two, let's say, two a month or something or so.
Okay. Yeah. And how many of
Uh,
those would come on the market off the back of those? Would you get kind of one or so a month off the back of that, you think, or what would you get?
yeah, so I've got now on the market. I mean, when you look at my website, the Rightmove or whatever, then I've got listed actually, I think 8 properties. But again, two of those 8 are really 8 properties because I just marketed 2 of the 8, which I spoke before about the new
Got it.
development.
Okay.
So it's coming, it's not completed, the new development. So 2 of them are put on the market already.
Yeah.
And the other ones, they'll come up probably next week or so.
Okay, fine.
So
So
it's basically like 16 properties when I look, 14 properties. And then I've
okay.
got next week again. So yeah, but
Okay,
it's
so
a,
you're
yeah,
sort of effectively sort of doing a drip feed on the new site of the 8 properties. So you're kind of listing two at a time, but then when they sell, you kind of list another one or two. Got it. Okay, fine. That
correct.
makes perfect sense. So if I put those 8 properties to one side, then sorry to be kind of, I appreciate that's a really good achievement, but I'm going to slide that over to one
Yeah,
side if that's
yeah, yeah.
okay. So if you went on sort of two market appraisals, how many instructions would you expect to get off the back of that?
So if let's say we take two a month, so it's 12 in the last 6 months, and
Yeah.
I've got seven,
Okay,
so it's
good.
just over the 50% or something
Yeah,
like
great. So what's that kind of 55,
that.
60% in that sort of ballpark?
Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. And what's your sales rate like? So what kind of percentage have you got under offer versus for sale at the moment, or if, per month, how many are going under offer? What sort of ratio are you looking at there?
Yeah, so it really depends. I mean, I can see straight away when I go to the property what, what the property is like or which area it is, or is it a flat, is it a house, is it you can see really straight away, will it go fast or not? I mean, so basically under offer now, I've got three,
Okay,
which are already four actually, which are under offer.
great. Okay,
And I'm going to complete next week two of them, which is already all sorted with the solicitors. Everything is fine, so we'll be
excellent.
completing. And then a week later, another one. So yeah,
Good. Well, congratulations on getting some money in finally. That's good. That's good news.
yeah,
Come through. A deep breath. Okay, so we've got four under offer. I appreciate some are going to kind of go their separate ways very shortly. And how many are you left with for sale at the moment? If you include all the new builds as well, you've got left.
yeah. So probably around 4, 5. I mean, when I take the other properties as well, then it's probably around 8, 9 or something like that.
Okay, fine. Okay.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it's a little bit skewed because obviously you haven't released a couple of the new builds yet at all. So they're kind of,
Correct.
I appreciate they're kind of included but not
Yeah.
included sort of thing. But obviously
Yeah.
available,
Yeah.
we said five, for example, and then you've got four under offer with two that are going to complete fairly soon. Okay, fine. So let's start with some good bits. So obviously, first of all, big high five for getting the 8 instructions straight off the bat. That's a dream start in the grand scheme of things. I think if we look at just the conversions you're getting through, so a couple of market appraisals per month and you're listing 55, 60%. High five. Awesome. Really, really good job. And
Thank you.
you're selling a good rate as well. So you're selling around 50% under offer. So that's good. Nice high five to yourself. Really, really good. Um, Obviously, the limitation here is you getting in front of enough people, I would imagine, because obviously the sales funnel you've got is very good and very sort of efficient, but it's a very small sales funnel, effectively. So we need to kind of open that up at the top. So talk to me about marketing. So if I lived in your area you cover,
Yeah.
what am I getting from yourself? What am I seeing of you?
Yeah. So the first thing is, which I really wanted to do, it is now that I've got for sale signs up,
Yep,
on the street here, street there, and again on this new development. So I've
great.
got quite a few signs so people see me and know me. Marketing, I put in like in the community advertiser. I didn't put in like that I'm looking for business. I just marketed the properties in there.
Okay.
Like I put up my, let's say 8 properties. I do like a nice design and whatever with my logo and
Yeah.
everything. And I put up this for sale, that for sale and whatever.
Okay. Great.
So I'm doing it this way. I'm not asking for business. I'm
Mhm.
just, you know,
Yeah.
basically putting it up for sale.
Okay. We've
Which
got the
is,
boards and we've got the
yeah,
local magazine. And is it like a one of those little tiny A5 magazines that has like all the plumbers and whatever else in, or is it like a bigger publication?
it's quite a big one. It's quite a big one. It comes out every week.
Great. Okay.
It comes out every week. I don't put it every single week, but I've put it here and there.
Yep.
Um, yeah, that's how in the community basically. And then I got clients as well from one of my clients is from Facebook. Just reached out to me. I saw your Facebook ads, not Facebook ads, just Facebook
Okay.
organically.
Yep.
And they were like, yeah, I want to use you.
Great. Thank you very
Um,
much.
and then
Good.
this friend actually from the development gave me another friend from London who has a property here. So this came just on the market now.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's a bit mouth to mouth on,
Okay.
LinkedIn, whatever. Yeah.
Okay. So so obviously you're a mortgage advisor for a long period of time. So what, 2018 to 2024. So whatever that is, 8 years or so.
Yeah.
I'm going to place a willing bet here that you've got a large database or lots of contacts in the property world or the housing world in the local area.
Yes, I do have. I mean, I don't know what means a lot or not, but I mean, on LinkedIn, I've got over 10,000 followers, but
Right.
that's not everyone
Hmm.
who is like literally in the area or whatever. It's just all
Yeah.
around the UK or um I've got on my phone, I think I've got probably around 1,500 contacts or something like that.
Okay.
Um
Let's
But
just pause. Let's just
again,
pause that there. So 1,500
yeah,
contracts in your phone book, and how many? So I appreciate 1,500 is quite a big number, and it's going to be mums and brothers and cousins in there, and that's lots of
correct,
that. So, but
correct.
how many of those are people who have a house in the local area? Do you think?
Who have a house in the local area? I don't know, maybe 400.
Okay,
I'm
400.
just
Great.
guessing. I'm
So
just
if
guessing.
we get a 1% return rate on a message out to those people, that's four market appraisals, which for yourself quite quickly is two instructions, which the way you sell properties is probably one or two sales quite quickly. So your mobile phone, which is probably not too far away from yourself right now because everyone's is, probably has in it a decent amount of money straight away. So I would look at this as almost like rings of influence in your business. So the biggest ring of influence you've got to start off with is people that know, like, and trust you already. So you're going to spend the next 5, 10 years trying to get everybody within your local area to like love you and be like, oh, Avi's the property guy. He's so trustworthy. He's so great. Just give him a quick call. Well, the people that know, like, and trust you already, they already feel that way. They like, obviously, they're recommending their friends. They're giving you 8 properties. So the people that deal with you, they love you already. So let's take full advantage of that. So what have you done kind of spreading that message from sort of your phone through to those people to say, BTW guys, I'm starting an estate agency. If you're looking to sell your house, I'm your guy.
I haven't done that because I hate cold calling,
Okay,
unfortunately.
I've got some great news for you. You don't even need to cold call it. So, really easy way to get started. So, you mentioned you've got a lot of contacts on LinkedIn. You've got obviously a decent amount of contacts on other social media platforms as well. So, let's start with the nearest sort of ring to yourself, which is people that know, like, and trust you already. They're probably in your phone book because that's why they are there. Really easy way, bang them all out a video. Record the video once. Hi, it's Avi. You might have seen I've just launched my own estate agency business. Really cool, really super exciting. I've got a tiny favor to ask. Do you know anybody who's looking to sell their property in the local area or might be looking to buy a property in the near future? I'd really appreciate if you can just send them over my details or send me their number. I'll have a chat with them. Go into broadcast list on your phone in WhatsApp. Select, I mean, the fact that you've got so many contacts, you're gonna have to do this in like 3 batches. So select all the people you think that you want a message to, just press send. Really easy way of doing it. You don't have to call anybody. You can literally be on the sofa in your pants watching Netflix and just have that video recorded and go, right there, right, there's 256 people selected. That's the most you can do. Press send. Right, next 256 people. Press send going through. Again, if you get a 1 or 2% hit rate on that, which I think you can get more than that, if you're focusing on people within sort of quite a tight knit community where everybody knows everybody, great. It's like the 6 degrees of separation is like the 2 degrees of separation. So you can get to know people and they to know what you do really, really quick on that side. So that's a really nice, easy win for yourself. You've done the hard work over the last 8 years or so, growing that massive sort of marketing network and sort of mobile phone network in your contacts. Time to cash it in some way. And people like helping the underdog in the UK. We love an underdog, love an up and comer. So if you go, guys, I've just launched my business and you can really help me, they'll be like, yeah, of course, Happy, we'll do that for you, mate. No problem at all. So that is going to be step number one. Step number two, you've got a large amount of social media contacts. And you're going to do pretty much exactly the same, but instead of sending it on your mobile, you're going to do it over your laptop, whatever it may be. So record a really similar video. Just launched my estate agency business, really exciting. You can do me a tiny favor. You know anyone looking to sell in this area, I'd really appreciate it. Right, go to your contacts, right, send, send, send. Again, not the most exciting day of your life, but you mentioned you've got 10,000 contacts on LinkedIn, of which probably, let's say 1,000 are relevant to yourself. So you could send 1,000 messages today in a day, wouldn't be the most exciting day of your life, and you'd have that all completely ticked off. You could send 256 messages times by 4 or 5 on your mobile in 15 minutes, 10 minutes. You're literally like, boom, I've arrived, guys. I've launched my own estate agency business, and this is how you can help me. Is it fair to say that if you messaged, let's call it 1,000 people to say, I've launched my estate agency, guys, do you know anyone looking to sell? You might get something back from that.
You might get back well again.
You
Sorry, the
might get
last
something
bit.
back from that, is fair to say.
100%. I think I'll get quite a lot back
Cool.
because, like you said, the people who know me, I mean, trust me on everything. They'll come back to me for sure.
Yep, 100%. And I think that your track record already speaks volumes. The fact that, you've got the mortgage knowledge behind you. So obviously you know how the property market works and behind this, you know more about mortgages and buying a property than I do because you've got 8 years worth of mortgage experience. So you're more qualified than me straight away. So congratulations. You need to get that out as much as possible. And people will trust you already because they're doing a good job with you and they're recommending you to friends. Awesome. So you're doing the hard bit. You just need to kind of, it's more of a marketing exercise. And this is probably a mistake that many agents make, is that when they launch an estate agency business, they think that 80% of their time is going to be being an estate agent and 20% is going to be marketing. Actually, 80% of your time is marketing. You're now a marketeer, congratulations. And 20% of your time, it just so happens you also sell properties and list properties on the side with that 20% of your time. So if you have that sort of mindset shift, your life is going to get a lot easier. Okay, so
So,
we've got the boards, the local mag, we've got clients recommending you, we've got a client messaging you on Facebook. Anything else that I'm going to see at all if I live locally?
so I've got WhatsApp. I mean, on my WhatsApp, I use status every single day. I put on
Okay,
my status like literally every single day, except
okay,
like here and there, but mostly like at least one a day. A status like what I put on LinkedIn.
yep,
I just screenshot it and I put it on my WhatsApp status, and I get like probably around the 200 views. It's not
okay,
amazing, but it's
yep,
okay.
great.
But then again, my friends can put it on here and there, so they have another 200 views. So a lot of them are like double the
Yeah,
views, like, but
okay,
yeah, yeah.
cool. Anything else? You've got the all the bits you mentioned already and the WhatsApp status. Anything else at all that I would receive from yourself?
Um, Not really. I don't
Cool.
think
Okay,
so.
that's fine. If that's the list, that's the list.
Yeah.
So what I would look at here is sort of avoidable marketing versus unavoidable marketing. So, for example, could I avoid your WhatsApp status? Absolutely. I just don't open my phone on WhatsApp and I just don't click on that green ring thing and I've got no idea what's on there, sort of thing. Can I avoid a for sale board? Probably not, unless I close my eyes while driving or walking, which is not recommended for both. I really can't avoid that. So it's about looking now and going, right, what marketing should we be getting out in the local area? Because as you mentioned earlier, you've got a solid conversion through your sales pipeline, but it's just not wide enough at the top. So not enough people know what you're doing. You're doing sort of the 80% estate agency stuff instead of the 80% marketing stuff. Okay, so you've listed and sold properties. So if I was to pick on a property that you've sold that's within your core patch, what goes out in that local area after you've listed it, sold it, soon to be completed on it? What kind of goes out in that area?
So what I really want to do, I haven't done anything yet because it's not completed, but I hope next week, which I'm going to complete too. I want to make like something. I'm not sure yet, but I have to really do it because it's next week already. So both are like a flat in a huge
Mhm.
block of flats. So I want to post something to all the neighbors. I'm not sure yet what, but I'll have to do something, figure out something.
Okay.
And maybe again social media just to do a picture like with a buyer, keys in the hand, something like that, and just post it everywhere. So
Okay. I've got some bad news. I'm going to bring that timescale right the way forward. So this is about marketing opportunities within your business. So I would see that marketing a property for sale has a big marketing opportunity around it because I've got a property for sale in your street and we've got viewers and buyers. That's a good thing to happen. Obviously, as soon as it goes under offer, that door is closed. And you're now like, right, I've now sold this property and it's under offer and everyone's really happy, etc. When it completes, obviously that door closes completely. And it's like you can't do like a for sale in your area after you've completed on it. It wouldn't make sense. So your door of I've sold this property in your area is closing by the day and is going to close in about a week's time or so by the sounds of it. And then you're never going to do any I've sold in your area marketing after that without sounding a bit weird because you've completed on the property, the board's been collected, they've moved in, and now you're going, well, I've sold a house in your road. And everyone's like, yeah, I know, they moved in. I saw the lorry last week. So really you should be dividing this into three and going, right, I've listed a property, loads of marketing. I've sold a property, loads of marketing. I've completed the property, loads of marketing. And I would look at it from a worst case point of view as well. Let's say, for example, we listed a property today and it came on the market and you did loads of marketing off the back of it. And then they went, oh, Avi, actually, I'm not going to move, mate. I don't fancy it anymore. You're like, okay, that's a bit of a kick in the nuts. But I've got lots of marketing out in the local area that might give me a couple of instructions off the back of it. So it's not the end of the world. Or if you sell a property, get a sold in your area out and get the marketing around it, and then they change their mind. I kind of got the marketing out around it so people know that I've sold a property locally, sort of thing. So the lowest hanging fruit you've got in your business today, outside of your phone book and the people that know you on social media, is going to be the marketing around your properties you've got under offer and for sale and soon to be completed at the moment. So you may not be the biggest agent in your town, but with regard to marketing, I want people to be like, in the same way you said earlier, they see my face on the board. I want them to be like, oh my God, I see your face everywhere. I go on my social media, I see you. I walk down the street, I see your board. I open my front door, I see a letter and a leaflet from you. That's getting across that you are like omnipresent when it comes to your marketing and they can't get away from you. So if anyone says to you, name an estate agent, they're like, well, there's that Avi guy who keeps sending me stuff all the time and he must be selling every house in the local area because I've received 6 things in the last 2 weeks sort of thing off the back of him. He must be making a big splash. So it's not about selling the most, it's about showing that you're marketing the most.
Yeah. And I think also, I mean, this, when I do a picture or something with a buyer or seller or whatever, I really think that when you do the deal, then everyone is excited.
Yep.
If you go after, when you go through the solicitor, mortgage broker, and all those pieces, which takes time, and everyone is blaming the other, and like all those things work, then you get a bit, everyone gets a bit frustrated or whatever. So, I
Yeah,
mean, the best time to focus on the happiness and everything is when the offer is made.
absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. So, you've got a lot of good messages to get out there. How many viewings are you doing per week or per month at the moment? How many people are going around and seeing properties with yourself?
You mean appraisals or you mean
No, just
viewings?
viewings. Just people trying to buy
Viewings.
properties. How many actual viewings are you having per week or per month?
It really depends. It really depends because next week I've got a property which I just listed this week, and the tenant told me next week is available and whatever. So I'm pushing in 2 hours, like every 10 minutes, another
Wow,
viewing.
that's a busy
Yeah.
day. Okay, so yeah,
So
two
I do
hours a
that a
week. Yeah.
lot of times. It's just easier. If there's a tenant, it's much easier for them to give me
Yep.
like 2 hours, and I just push in every 10 or 15 minutes
Okay,
of viewing.
so we're going to have, let's pick a nice round figure. We're going to have 12 viewings on that property, let's say, for example. So we have 12 viewings on that
Yeah.
property. Only one of them can buy it, unfortunately. Otherwise, we'd have the infinite money glitch. So only one of
Yeah.
them can buy it. So you've got 11 people left who want a property in that area. What would you typically do with those buyers? So they've obviously been disappointed or didn't want to buy it, or it was too big or it's too small. What would be sort of the plan with them?
Yeah, it's a good question, and I don't really have a plan. I mean, I try to I have their contact details and everything,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I need to be better to save their contacts and go after them or whatever because I get so many phone calls. Like on I've got two flats which are under offer already, and I still get so many phone calls because the for sale sign is still on.
Okay.
So people just walk through or drive through or whatever, and they call me
Yep.
up like 8 o'clock at night. I saw
Okay.
you bought, have you? Is it still available or whatever? And it's not.
Okay.
But
So
I saved their number, but
yep.
that's it,
Let me
basically.
let me just continue that conversation with you. You've got a property for sale. I've just driven past it, and you're like, I'm really sorry, it's just gone under offer, sort of thing. But really popular property. But is it just that area you're looking for? What sort of thing you're looking for? And they go, I'm looking for a 2 bedroom place, a 3 bedroom place. My budget's whatever it may be. Cool, great. Well, I've got nothing that ticks the boxes for that at the moment. Out of interest, if I could show you properties that aren't on the market yet at all, would that be of interest to yourself? And everyone's going to be like, yeah, I think so. Great, fantastic. What I'm going to do is tell me the areas you want to live in, specific roads you want to be in. I'm going to get a letter sent out to all those houses in those streets or that block of flats, whatever it may be, that says I've got Mr. Jones who's currently in this situation and wants to buy a property. And if that comes through, I'll let you guys know first of all, and you can view it before it goes on the general market. How does that sound? Yeah, that's really good. Thank you very much. Cool. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to send you the details of properties that have been on the market over the last couple of years or so that I think you might like the look of. Right sort of price bracket, right sort of area. Have a look at those details and let me know which ones you like the look of. And they're going to come back to you and say, Abby, first of all, thank you so much for sending this across and doing 10 times more than any other estate agent will do. We like the look of the one with the red front door, the yellow front door, and the blue front door. Cool. Leave it with me. I'm going to drop a letter around to each of those properties and say, I've got someone who wants to view your property as soon as possible, who is proceedable. Are you up for a viewing? The return rate on that is about 5 or 6 to 1. So for every 5 or 6 letters you get out, someone's going to phone you back and go, apparently you've dropped left in my front door and apparently you've got a buyer for me, sort of thing. Yeah, great. Well, you must live in this area, that road, sort of thing. So it's a really sharp way, although you've got limited messaging, because lots of agents think their messaging should be limited to I've listed a house, I've sold a house, I've completed a house, which you only have so many going through at any one time. Really, you've got endless stuff to talk about because you've got buyers looking, you've got listing, selling property, you've got the fountain of knowledge on buying and selling properties with your mortgage advice in the background, sort of thing. Like you should be tripping over content at the moment to kind of talk about because you've got so much stuff sort of in your mind that you need to get out of your mind and in front of other people. So they're just like, oh my God, that Avi guy, he's selling everything, he's listing everything, he's completing everything, he's got buyers looking in my local area. And when I look on his social media, he's just giving value. He's just helping, 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 because he is the expert on it. So when they come to sell, who they're going to call, Avi, is the obvious answer. So it's about looking at it and going, what marketing can we get in front of people? And it doesn't necessarily just need to be we've listed and we've sold, because you've got so many things that you can talk about. So this is where we want to get to the point where if you live within your core patch, they're pretty much sick of the sight of you. Because the biggest issue you've got in your business is, does anybody even know you exist? So if they're phoning you up or seeing you in the street and like, oh my God, I saw you on Facebook last night, or I saw you, your leaflet or your letter or your board, you're like, awesome. I don't mind where it comes from as long as they know who I am. So therefore, when they look to sell, they know who to recommend. That's the place to be. So do you think you could implement that at all? Do you think you could make that happen?
100%, yeah. I mean, it was very hard for me the first time to put my face on the board, which was
Yep.
like really thingy for me. But Keller Williams like really pushed me for it. No,
Yep.
you have to do it.
Mhm.
And yeah, like I said before, I just go in the shops and people say, "Hey, are you the guy from there?" I say, "Yeah,
Okay.
it's me."
So
Yeah,
you've segued me beautifully. So thank you very much for the segue in advance. So you mentioned earlier you had one of your instructions from Facebook. So
correct.
contrary to popular belief, I do quite a lot of research before these podcasts begin. So I looked at your Facebook account, I looked at your Instagram account, and I think I saw one picture of you, and I couldn't quite work out if it was AI
It
created or.
was a yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. Is you holding the board of you on the board? Yeah, I thought it was. So if you've had one instruction already off the back of Facebook, and all your Facebook content really for people who are listening in is kind of Canva templates. I think it's probably the majority of it. The odd sort of AI image here or there sort of thing. There is like zero Avi whatsoever. You're nowhere to be seen. So think about where people's eyes are and attention are these days is on their phone, it's on socials, etc. So your face needs to be where their eyeballs are. And if people are walking down the street and going, "Oh, I saw your board," and that board might have the footfall of 1,000 people that go past it every day, well, there's what, 3 billion people on Facebook every single day. So let's look at where the eyeballs are and where the numbers are. So, the really simple win for yourself. You have got probably a 5-part series inside your head best-selling book of how to buy, sell a property, mortgage information, what happens when fall through server. You've got it all in your head. But the only person that knows that really is you right now. So
Yeah,
your goal is to get all of that out of your head in front of other people. And the easiest way to do that is your social media content.
yeah. So I used to put in the beginning when I started like 6, 7 months ago, I started to make question and answer. Like I put on my
Brilliant.
status,
Yeah.
anyone has a question or whatever, and people sent me questions.
Yeah.
Is it better? I'm just saying, like, let's say, is it better to buy to let a flat or a house? What's the difference?
Yeah.
Just normal question. So I've always written answers, and that's how I did it. I've got it still on my LinkedIn, Facebook in the
Mhm.
beginning. Um, yeah, but this is also one of the things which I really want to do is like a YouTube channel or something, just giving advice,
Yeah.
which I really have a lot.
Yeah,
So yeah,
100%. You're the fountain of knowledge when it comes to property information. So it's almost a misjustice you're not sharing it with more people. So, I love the fact you're putting stuff online to say, fill in this blank, what's your questions you've got of someone, an estate agent or, the mortgage world, whatever it may be. What are your questions? Great. That should be like your script for video content. That should literally be, I've had a question from Paul. Right. What's Paul's question? Right. What's the difference between leasehold and freehold? Right. That's a 30 seconds to 60-second video. All this content, you probably go on a market appraisal and they probably ask you the same questions day in, day out. It's probably like, how long does it take to sell? What's the market like at the moment? Do we do anything to the property before we sell it? Can my dog be here for viewings? Like, do we need to be out? Do you want a key? All this sort of great. Write those things down and be like, right, I'm doing a video on each of those.
yeah,
And all we need to do is bulk record, and then we're gonna put stuff between it. So if you bulk walk down one side of the street, recorded 10 videos, walk down the other side of the street, recorded 10 videos, sort of thing. Great, let's get those all scheduled into your social media. And then when you list the property, great, let's wedge that listing in there, move everything else down one. Great, we just sold a property. Right, get rid of that one, put that video in there instead, move that down the line. So everything's kind of filters down the line. So you've always got stuff coming in front of you, sort of thing, and your social media is always booked up in the future. But you need to just give, give, give. You've got literally no excuse. You know everything about property. You are doing a fantastic job with the clients you deal with. You just need to put yourself out there more.
correct.
Cool. Avi, anything today that we've covered that you don't have any questions on how to do that I can help with, or is that really crystal clear what you need to do next?
I really think it is clear. and yeah, you gave me a lot of knowledge and things to thought about. Just
No,
need to write everything down to remember.
you need to write. Well, I'll send you the recording afterwards, though, so you've got that
Ah,
all.
yeah.
So what I would do is the really low hanging fruit that I would do today, literally as soon as we end this video call today, next thing I would do, get your phone out your pocket, that broadcast list. You can probably give yourself the next 2, 3, 4 months worth of instructions just by doing that, and it will take you 10 minutes, I reckon. But do it by video because you'll get far better response. If you do it by text or voice note, not so great. Video, people
Uh,
will come back to you.
can I just ask you regarding WhatsApp when I send like to a lot of people or LinkedIn or whatever?
Yep.
Um, is it possible that your WhatsApp or LinkedIn or something gets blocked or something? That's what I heard once that.
Yeah,
I
so
don't
WhatsApp definitely not because broadcast list is literally it's designed by WhatsApp to make you do broadcast list. So a broadcast list, they don't see it's a broadcast message. They just see you've just text them sort of thing. So they see it as a one-to-one message when really it isn't. Great for
um,
organising your friends going to the pub, by the way. If you want to organise your friends going out for a day, just bulk message them all saying this is what we're doing, this is where we're meeting, nice and easy. But with regard to the social media side of things, if you completely spam it in one day, then yes, it might be seen as a little bit like
yeah,
OTT. So you might look at it and go, actually, I'm going to do 20, 30 a day for the next
yeah,
couple of weeks or so. Right, send. Right, for the next between 9 o'clock and 9:30. That's when I do it. Right, send, send, send. Right, that's done for the day. Right, next day, send, 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 sort of thing. Because you don't want to go like too crazy on it. So yeah, WhatsApp, that's your lowest hanging fruit. Next stage on top of that is your social media. Next stage on top of that is leveraging your for sale properties and your sold properties, your completed properties. Next level on top of that is leveraging your buyers you've got. So as you can tell, you've got a bit to do.
yeah, got a lot to do.
Oh, and don't forget the social
Uh,
media content.
yeah, just what you mentioned before that 80% is marketing and 20%
Yep.
is state agency. So by mortgages, it was just the opposite basically,
Yep.
because there's so many regulations, so many admin, and
Yep.
there's so many things to do. So it's really like 90% probably,
Yep.
which you're just busy with the mortgage itself, and marketing is basically nothing. I mean,
In the estate agency world and in most businesses, lead
yeah,
generation can cover over for a lot of issues. Let's say, for example, I was a terrible estate agent who always turned up late and I had my shirt not tucked in and whatever else it might be, but I had 100 market appraisals over the next 2 weeks. I'll probably still have a pretty decent business. Whereas if I've only got one market appraisal and I turn up like that, I've got no business whatsoever. So actually, lead generation should be your focus pretty much all the time because it covers up for a lot downstream sort of thing off the back of it. But ultimately, for yourself, you've got good conversions going through already. So when you do increase your business, it's a direct win down the line. Abby, thank you so much for coming on today, mate. It's been really, really good. Hope you've enjoyed it. And well, you have to come back in the future and let us know how you get on.
hopefully. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very
Pleasure, Abby.
much.
Thank you so much.